And congratulations, you made it through the first half of the tools. So let's proceed now with the other side. Then again, thank you for watching. And if you're enjoying this video, give it a like and subscribe. This is something that it helped me a lot in the last month, and also to reach others who are interested in watching these reviews or knowing about these tools. Also, feel free to suggest whatever you want to see or whatever you want me to review, because I really love gadgets and I want to give you this more analytical and also daily use point of view, let's say. So saying that, let's continue then with the top. Here we have these scissors, which are kind of like a joke when you see all the tools that you have in the Swiss Champ and then you come to this one. So of course I have to show the comparison, but the funny thing is not only the Swiss Champ, but I will grab my mini champ to show you also the scissors and you can see what I mean with this. So let me compare it just side by side so you have an idea. Look at the cutting part of those. The length is more or less the same. This is the funny part, you see? The length is more or less the same, but the cutting part is really different. And here I have my mini champ, and you can see the cutting part is more or less the same. I'm going to do some tests now, but just to give you an idea what you are getting here. So you have a length of 6.1 centimeters more or less when you see it properly. And here I cannot open it anymore. By the way, this is the maximum angle that you can open the scissor. Here you have the cutting part from the top. Here is around 1.3 centimeters. The mini champ, sorry, is around 1.6. And this one, the Swiss champ, the bigger one, has around 2.6. So a huge difference, but let's see in paper how they perform. Let me grab here one sheet of paper, so then you can see how they cut side by side. So let's grab this like this. Let's start with the mini champ. I'm going to open it fully. That's the mini champ. Let's start, or let's go again with the, here I will put it with the Swiss champ, and then I will go with this one here, right in between. I try to open it, but I forget all the time, and that's it. So you can see the mini champ cut up to there. So yeah, you have more than 1.5 centimeters. Then the Swiss tool cut there, so you can see the difference already. And then you can see what the Swiss champ can. So no competition. Of course the design is different because this one has another spring. That's why also this one opens little and not so much, but this theoretically this spring is stronger, which makes sense because it's more beefy. And as you can see, this one in the mini champ already broke, and this one I have for 1 year. So it's the same more or less spring than in the champ. So you can see it's a really thin spring, but this allows to have a wider opening versus this one. This is something you can criticize, but I guess they thought it as a tool that you use to make heavy duty stuff, not so much like the Swiss champ. So again, I'm going to cut this thick cardboard. It was around 4 millimeters thick. You can see cuts without a problem. I mean, as long as you can put it in the mouth, let's say. So let's see here. You can see the problem of this small opening. I cannot grab everything. I have to push it and then it grabs it, versus the mini champ, which I can just do this. And then I have to do also more force with this one. And then the big brother comes to save the day. Here it is, the Swiss champ. So with this one, yeah, it feels nice to cut, to be honest. It's not so, it's not like you need to do a lot of force. but the problem is this low opening, small opening, that it like feels stupid. You know, if I had to cut all this, and if I had to make a cut like this, then it's like every little cut that I do is like 5 millimeters cut, while with this one I just grab it and it's a lot more comfortable to deal with. So the scissors is really a weak point of this tool. Okay, so here we arrive now to the next tool. We have the small screwdriver. As you can see, this is 1 for 2.5 more or less, almost 3 millimeters screws, and it's really similar to this one from the Swiss champ. This is, I think, thinner, as you can see, just a bit thinner. But the advantage of this one is the position. As you can see, this is really useful. Again, you can bend it like that, and then you can easily screw things. And with this one, yes, you have to be like that, and then when you do some force, this bends, and then you have to start again. Well, this one again blocks. Yeah, this one doesn't lock here at the back, but the tool itself, it's locked. So that's really good. There is not much to say about this. It works, and you can go so deep as, let's see, around 3 centimeters before you hit this part here. So that's about the small screwdriver. One thing that I love about Victorinox, and I think all of them have this really good Phillips screwdriver. Even if it is wrong position, at least here in the, where it's not so bad for the Swiss champ, because it's also here at the end, and other models have it here on the middle part. But the design of it, it's so nice that it fits in every screw that I tried. And it doesn't matter how big or small the screw is, of course within reason, but it fits and it grabs so well that it's really a pleasure to work with this tool. And yeah, as you can see, it's also really long, so you can go deep. You have around 3.5 centimeters, and this thickness here is around 6 millimeters, and this one is around 3 more or less millimeters. So the idea is like you can also again grab it like that, and then it turns into really a useful tool. It's not fictitious like this one again, because you have to rotate this huge mass and you don't have the space most of the time to do this. But with this, and you can really reach longer, and then you can rotate and work with this. It's really useful, and I've used this a lot. Also compared to length, you can see how much reach this one has, and also it is a bit yeah, this is thicker here at the bottom, limiting again how deep you can go. This one is also thinner, so you can enter and you can unscrew and screw stuff really easily. So this is really a nice piece, and also it's in the middle of the tool, so really well thought. I believe this is something that makes a difference in this kind of multi-tools. And as you can see, of course, we have a can opener. Also, again, the same design as in the Swiss tool. We're very similar, I would say, and it works exactly the same. So if you want to see how this works opening a can, please take a look to my review of the Swiss champ, and then you can see it in action. Again, on the top you also have this screwdriver, the flat one. It's a bit bigger, so let me just get out of the doubt. Just like this, we have around 3 millimeters for this one, and for this looks a bit in the area of, let me see, 4 millimeters. Yes, so this is a bit bigger, a bit wider, let's say, on the top, but the design works basically the same. And it's also nice that it's lockable, so then you can also work your way maybe like this, so then you have more grip. And as also you can see, they are really smart. They put it on this side, so then you can grab it, and it's not so uncomfy, let's say, if you had this on the bottom and then you have a certain height which you cannot work. So really smart, positioned, and I really like it. Works really well. and it is more or less the same design as the one, the Swiss champ. So if you made it so far, I'm really glad, and I hope that you are enjoying this video as well. We arrived to the last tool from this site, but I guess you already made your mind and decided already which one would you get, because as you can see, I think Victorinox is doing like a self-competition thing between their own products, where you have the Swiss tool with more or less the same, or perhaps a bit more, tools than the Swiss champ. And of course, with the difference that everything here is lockable and here is not. But I don't know, what do you think? Which one would you get? Because here we have again the same tool. Let me give you some idea of the dimensions so you can see how different or similar they are. We have 1 centimeter, and at the top you have around 7. In this tip we have 6. And in this one you have at the bottom 1,1, and here at the tip you have 8. From the top side you can see that they are more or less the same thickness, and from the bottom you can also see that the design of these teeth are the same. Let me compare it to a tool that you find, another file that you find the normal ones, let's say. So then you can compare the design. Now the Swiss champ. So as you can see, they are similar and they work really well. If you want to see how they work with metal, please take a look to my review of the Swiss champ. Then you can see both of them in action. So what I can say, again, the difference, this one locks, this one does not, and this can be a bit dangerous when you are working with. So let's go then to the pliers. I think the most impressive tool that you can find in this one are the pliers. First, by the way they open, which is really cool. So you can see they are kind of locking there in position. And then you understand the shape of this tool when you are not using the pliers, because now you have this really nice shape where you can grab it, and it is really similar to a regular plier, as you can see there. And then we have it. So let's start then, because there is a lot to talk about these pliers. So the measurement of this head is around 5 centimeters. This grip area is around 2 centimeters or 1,9. And then this part to tight bolts and so on, where you have more grip, is 1,7. No, sorry, 1,3 centimeters. And then this area really at the bottom where you can cut wire and so on, you have 5 or 6 millimeters. I hope that you can see there. More or less is the area. In order to have a comparison, because this is a German brand, really good quality, and also more or less the same size. Let's put it just like that. It's a medium size for these pliers, so pretty much the same size. Of course, this is more beefy, but let's see also the size for the head. So then you have an idea how it compares. So this top part is around 8 millimeters. Then this grippy area is around 1 centimeter. And here, of course, you can see the cutting area. This is huge. You have around 1,5 centimeters for this cutting area. Here, that's what I mean. So, of course, there are different concepts regarding these are needle nose pliers versus this one, which is more like a universal design. But you can tell that they are both good quality. And something that I want to show you, I hope that you can see in the camera, Yes, there you can see, maybe against that light. Yes, look how precise that closes there. It's again a bit used on the top, but look how precise this one closes. You can see, look at the edge there. They are really precise. And now look at this one. Of course, then again, this is not a needle nose, but you can see there is some light in between this area here, because they favor this cutting area at the bottom. Let me show you this again. You can see here at the tip, they are in contact. And as a comparison, of course, just to show you again the precision of Victorinox, that here also they are touching at the very end of the tip. And from this point of view, also you can see it. So this is something that it's really magnificent, and it is one of the most useful things, because with these ones you can actually grab and maneuver things, you know. Here you can grab it really easily and with a considerate grip. The same with this one. Then you can really maneuver and do some forming in this case, or bending. They are really strong and they're really easy to maneuver with. Of course, it's no comparison between these universal ones, because the tip is different, but this is such a good quality that sometimes I prefer to use this one than to use this one. And of course this is meant to cut, but let's see if this one can cut too. As you can see, this also has some a formation there, so you can place a wire easily, so you can keep there. Then you can cut. Let me see with this one now. Funny enough, I have to do more or less the same force. So it's not like because this one is meant to cut, they will make everything easier. Perhaps I'll do more force with this one. Let me see again. Yes, with this one I do less force than with the Knipex. So this is something to consider, because this makes the tool much more useful for everything. And the only problem that maybe the grip is not so good, but it's good enough. I mean, even with the gloves I could do things here. And of course we have no insulation, so you cannot work in electrical stuff with this. It's more purely mechanical or small things that you can do, but it is really capable. And this is one of the reasons for which I keep this tool. And as you can see, this one has no comparison. There is literally no comparison between this Swiss champ and the Swiss tool. So this is per design the reason why you are getting this tool on top of the other tools that you're getting with this. So one thing I wanted to show you that I forgot is the thickness of this. You have 6 millimeters versus this industrial one, you have 9 millimeters. So it's really hefty, I would say. And I have here laying around, maybe it's not a good idea, but we will do it anyways, because why not? We have this nail, which is around 1.5 millimeters diameter. These things for the wall, for cable organization, I guess. And I'm going to cut it with this thing. So let's see how it goes. First, I'm going to look at with the Knipex. Of course, I will cut it here, so I put it flat against, and then I will press. I hope you can see how much force I'm doing. Oh, okay, that was heavy. Oof. Okay, so you can see there, and the cut there. So really clean cut, but I had to do a lot of force. So this is the Knipex, and then let me try with the Victorinox here. And for this one, you have two holes there. I will put it in this, not the smaller one, but in the one closer below. So let me do this again. So 3, 2, 1, and okay, this was fast and without much force. This is the Victorinox one. It's a bit taller because I cannot reach like this, but let's see how they look like. I guess you can tell the difference already. From the top, you can see that the Victorinox is one really flat. There you can see better. This is the Knipex to the left, and this is the Victorinox to the right. This one is really flat, and this one you can see kind of like this shape, while this one is totally flat. Really cool. I'm surprised because the Victorinox did a better job. It's easier. Yeah, the problem is I don't know which will hold longer, but for 5 years, of course I have to admit I never cut nails like this, or I don't do this often because I don't think you should do this anyways. But with this case, in this case, you can do it. You need a lot more force than with the Victorinox. And I don't know, I cannot tell which one will last longer or will hold longer, but just from this experience, I can say that the Victorinox was easier to work with. So we're coming now to the end of this video. So we have only these tools to review. Here we have this piece where you can attach these bits. They are not magnetic here in this holder because this is plastic, of course, but there is no magnetic piece, and you can see there is a hole there. So it's just by friction holding there, which, yeah, it's not the best, but somehow works. And then again here, they hold tight, but there is no magnetic. At least I don't feel like this. So you can put it there and work like this, or can put it there. So let's see the dimensions more or less. It's around 10 centimeters, a bit more. So you can work like this, or then work like that. This is all the bits that you receive from Victorinox. You can see it's all tight. So you have a Torx, again a Torx, then you have a big Phillips, a small Phillips, and then you have hexagonal twice. These are the ones, and the good thing is like they give you this kind of like a feature they tell you, so you can put your own bits which are universal. So this is good because there is another model for the Victorinox, something similar to the Swiss Champ, which is called the Swiss the Cyber Champ, I believe it is, or something with the Cyber tool. Yeah, the Cyber tool it is. And this one also has here a screwdriver, which also has the capability to switch the bits, but those bits here in the middle, they have a small ball which is used to be attached here at the bottom. So when you put it, this ball gets pressed and then it's it's holding like this, but this one does not have that. So the advantage is you can use your own bits, which you have for your old tools, and you can also implement it here if you wish. So the next tool that we have here is this corkscrew and the screwdriver. Again, this screwdriver is for glasses or really small things. the same that is included in the Swiss champ. And then let me see if we can make it work in my glasses. Here's small screw. And it's really, how to say, sharp. So you can see it is working properly. And the camera is a bit complicated, but you can see that it has a really good grip. So works no problems, and is really useful because if you wear glasses, sometimes they get loose, and then you can adjust it without losing the screw, and you don't have to pay a lot for this. So, and then the corkscrew, as you can see, is the same tool actually. So let me show you, because funny enough, it's the same tool. Yeah, but this one is out because you can attach it here, and you can see in the side, in both sides, basically you have this flat part, so you put it like this, the other way around. So let me show you again, like this, to the flat part, and then you slide it down. And then this holds. I mean, it's good enough when you are using it for a wine, of course. Then you can really screw, no problem, and then pull. You have a good grip, and then it is holding. Yeah, it's not sliding out so easily. And this is nice, and you can carry it with your little screwdriver. You can put it here, just like that, and you can put all your tools back into this pouch. So there you go, we review every little tool inside this one. So let's talk again about design flaws. Yes, I believe that this tool is really good, but there are some things that I don't agree so much with the design. Of course, this is only my opinion, but as I showed you before, for example, these scissors could be better, they could be bigger, and more importantly, I believe this opening is so small that sometimes it's useless, and it's a pity because this would be a really nice thing to have. So then again, the scissors would be really cool to have something different, and the same as this butter knife. It is useful, yes, it does its job, yes, but when you want to sharpen it, then you're a bit complicated because of this part here on the top, and also it's chiseled, so then again you are also complicated. Of course, there are people that they go and they change the design and they sharpen it, so they delete this on the top and also they do it from the other side. But I believe that maybe Victorinox should offer the other knife at least as an option, so you can implement it here. I mean, you can decide a model of the Swiss tool that has that knife and also the other scissors, for example. Then again, what other design flaw I find from this? It's really hard to say because most of the things are really useful. And this is where I believe that they are competing against each other, the Swiss champ with the Swiss tool. Maybe again the weight, but then again, you know that you are going to get a multi-tool, so you are already knowing that you're going to get something heavy. And yeah, I mean, everything is, other than what I said, is understandable, and you already know what you're getting into when you are getting this kind of tools. The price that I paid for this, I believe you can buy this alone as it is, just the tool itself, and also in other variations, but also you have other color variations. You have it in black, and you can also get this whole combination with these extra tools. And I believe this is a good idea because then you have a really nice pouch for the whole thing. I don't know if you're going to carry only this one on your pockets. I believe this is too heavy and too wide to be comfortable, so you're going to get anyways a pouch for this. So then why not get all the combination and, you know, have a nicely arranged, and you are capable of many things. This is also useful for many things, especially because of the beads, and that you can use your own beads for this tool. So It is universal. There is not something that if it is not made by Victorinox, it will not work. It is not like this. So this is a really nice and capable tool. And the same for this screwdriver and the corkscrew. So the price, I will put this here below so you can see the price for the whole thing. So then again, conclusion time. Well, I reviewed the Swiss Champ. I reviewed also the Mini Champ. Which one should you get? Should you get both? Should you get the Swiss tool at all? And my opinion is, if you are after a tool that will be helpful and it will help you to be productive in your everyday life, this is not something that you buy to work and replace this, or replace this, or replace a screwdriver. I believe you cannot do this, because if you work every day with these tools, then you can appreciate that they are separated, and then you can go fast, switch, work, and also they are properly built so you can work and do the thing that you have to. So from that point of view, I guess you are going to buy a multi-tool because you want to have many things into one, just in case something happens, and just in case you can get away with that situation with using your multi-tool. And then you have these opportunities to get this Swiss Champ or the Swiss tool. In my case, I would get the Swiss tool. It's not that I don't appreciate the Swiss Champ, it's just that the fact that this doesn't lock, the fact that most of these tools are limited versions of this one here, especially because of the position or because of the size, and you cannot use it properly. I mean, it's nice that you have this pen, that you have then the Swiss Champ in here. Of course, you don't have it, but you can also get a pen somewhere else in your pockets. You know, you don't have to get this huge thing just to get a pen. So if you are a Victorinox fan, I think the Swiss Champ is a must-have in your collection, because this is a classic, and I believe it's really good to have in the collection. But if you are purely a person that wants to get the most from the tool, then the Swiss tool is the one to have. You also get this pouch so you can transport it. For this one you have to buy a pouch extra, and then again when you have to use it, you're a bit limited regarding the tools and the position of the tools in comparison to this one. So then again, what I would do is, every time that I go camping or I go with the bike, I always, anyways, for my everyday activities, I always carry this in my keychain, the Mini Champ. And then for the other things, I carry this Swiss tool in my backpack when I go camping, when I go with the bike, when I go with the car. I always have this with me. Ideally, I would have this one in the car, but I have only one, so I have no problems with taking it inside the car and outside every time that I must use it. So this is my opinion. Of course, there is also an interesting model similar to the Swiss tool, which is the Cyber tool, and there is the Cyber tool 34, which is the one that I used to have before I lost it, and I believe this one was more capable or more useful in everyday life than the Swiss Champ. So I would take the Cyber tool instead of the Swiss Champ, and I would take the Swiss tool instead of the Swiss Champ. Only get this, I believe, if you are a fan of the brand and that you like to have this. So I hope that you enjoyed my video. Please, if you have questions, if you want to know more about this, maybe in everyday use, don't doubt and just write them in the commentaries. And if you want to see other reviews, please also leave suggestions there. I read all the comments and I try to answer all of them as well. See you next time in the other videos.